Friday evening gala will dazzle you with dinner and dancing to the musical styles of Matt Mauser and the Sinatra Big Band. The Saturday luncheon will delight and surprise you with the always popular Macy's Fashion Show. Both events will feature silent and live auctions, fabulous boutiques, and beautifully decorated Christmas trees created by local designers. As always, the events support the tens of thousands of foster and low-income children served by Santa Claus Incorporated all year long. To get tickets or for more information, please visit www.friendsofsantaclausinc.com. That's www.friendsofsantaclausinc.com. That's www.friendsofsantaclausinc.com.
I love you.
Hey Ryan, do we have any beer in the fridge?
Nah, I thought you got some.
The game starts in 5 minutes.
And you drank the last beer at midnight on Friday.
I wish there was a place that delivered beer.
Yes, I'm Captain Crafted. I'm here to bring you beer. That's Captain, C-R-A-F-T''D. Why? Because there's no E, just a D, as in deliver, because Captain Crafted delivers.
That's right, the Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business with great prices and deliveries of your favorite beer, wine, spirits, water, ice, and mixers. Did I mention their great prices? That's CRAFTDBEER store.com or Fred Crafted Beer Store on Facebook.com. Make it easy. Google Redlands Beer Delivery. Look for Crafted Beer.
Crafted Beer Store in Redlands is now open for business, and I'm here to deliver.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Well, hey, hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip-Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip-Flop Investor himself, coming to you live from Redlands, California. We get together every single week, talk about real estate investing here in the Inland Empire, anywhere really. It's what we do, talk about real estate investing. Every week I like to get together with a local expert and pick their brain about what they know about real estate. Usually it's a lot of stuff. Today we're not going to be in so much luck because we got Stephen McKee on the show. How you doing today, Steve?
Is that your way of saying I'm really focused on, or
really
I'm scatterbrained and we don't know where we're going with this one?
Well, as usual, we planned out this show for weeks before today because we had last week off. It was Thanksgiving, so this week we had nothing but time to prep for it.
I was looking for some papers to shake back these notes right here, but I couldn't find any.
Fortunately, we're in the digital age, so we don't really need paper, to touch on these subjects we were going to be pulling up here today.
I was sitting here right before we went on air, and I was like doing a forward for my class, and I was like trying to forward a domain name. I'm like, I hadn't done that because I have no way to direct people.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here choosing a domain name for my list, like trying to forward it out because I planned so well.
Hey, so do you have that set up or no?
Yeah.
You got it?
I hope so.
Okay. Well, you work on that. I'll just sit here and talk for a minute if you know.
I think I got it done.
Well, let's before we jump too much into it, let's talk a little bit about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. There's a bunch of people out there that want to learn how to invest in real estate, and we created a club, Stephen and myself, about over 4 years ago. We created this thing called the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, where we originally started out. We got together once a month at the Mission Inn in Riverside and had a club meeting where it's more like a support group where we get together a bunch of other people that are investors.
It's
and
Real Estate Anonymous, right? Real Estate Investors Anonymous.
Yeah, and we talk about the deals they're doing, the deals we're doing. We do deals together. We'd find investors, all kinds of good stuff. There's people there with capital. There's people there that are out looking for deals, new people that are just trying to get into the industry and looking for mentors, things like that. So we started this thing, and it's grown into a bit of a monster. Now we have over 4,200 members in the group, and it's quite a big thing. But we had our big monthly meeting last night at the Mission Inn, Despite them having their Festival of Lights, which if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. The Festival of Lights in downtown Riverside.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We see it every day, because our office is also downtown. So
because it stares at the Mission Inn and Festival of Lights.
Yeah. So if you haven't been, go check it out. It's worth the trip and the hassle of finding a parking place. But they have all kinds of Christmas decorations and holiday cheer.
Yeah, we don't have like the hot chocolate guy or the.
Is he not there?
I haven't seen like the gingerbread house. Is that gingerbread house there?
Yeah,
okay.
The gingerbread house is there.
I haven't walked down the middle of that street. So for those of you who haven't been downtown Riverside during Festival of Lights, there's I don't know, an assortment of miscellaneous devilish foods like candy covered almonds and donuts.
Yeah.
And
fortunately, they moved the bacon wrapped hot dog stand to another area
away from the office.
A little further away. Every time we'd go to lunch, I'm trying to eat healthy, and walking past the bacon wrapped hot dog stand, it was a little difficult. But
yeah, and like my willpower is -2 right now during this time of year, so I'm basically every time I pick up Kylie, my daughter, I'd be like, oh, so I'm with the kid, so we definitely need to get like the bag of fresh donuts.
Of course.
Because I'm with the kid. It was not for me.
Yeah,
it's for the kid.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can have 1 or 6 of them, but
I'm going to hold the bag, and you can take them from the bag.
So I'm getting texts right now from listeners that are curious what happened to the guest that was going to be on today. Unfortunately, because I told a lot of people I was going to have a very special guest. Every week it's a very special guest. For anybody that's ever listened to the show, I always introduce them as a very special guest because these are all exceptional folks.
For those of you who don't know, I'm the permanent backup guest just because we're business partners, because me and Todd used to do the radio show together, and I just kind of got tired of doing it. So whenever somebody doesn't show up, you get me.
Exactly. But it's good we get you because for those of you that don't know, Steven's my original real estate investor mentor. He was the first investor that helped me get into my first investment. So, he's a wealth of knowledge. He knew a ton of stuff back then. He knows even more now. So, every day he comes up with new and wonderful stuff, and we have to.
That's a good way to describe. Like every day I come up with, meaning I make it up.
Right.
New and wonderful stuff.
I mean, that's what the world is, right? The world is made up. Everything in the world is made up.
That's the thing that I don't. Do we need to address the missing guest, or are we going to move on from that?
I could finish that story, I suppose.
We should, yeah.
Because he's going to be here.
Okay.
He's an accountant. He's our personal accountant. He's the accountant to many real estate investors that we know. He was going to be here today, but he got tied down with some work-related thing that he couldn't get out of, and so
he has reporting or something.
Yeah, he's got a big investor report he's got to put together, and had to do it today because it's due tomorrow. So he's going to be here in 2 weeks on December 13th. Is when he'll be here. So. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be an amazing episode. I've been talking with him about it for a long time, and we've talked about a bunch of the stuff we're going to go over. He's actually really nervous about it because he's not like a radio guy, but
he's not a public person at all.
Not really. The last time we went and I did a presentation with him on stage at the big Coldwell Banker market forecast thing.
Yeah.
He clammed up. He's so charismatic in his office and so personable.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun, super nice guy. And then he gets on stage. He just, very, very nervous. You could tell he was nervous.
I never really considered that, because he's so cavalier.
Exactly.
Especially for an accountant.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't describe him as cavalier. Well, probably one of the worst ways to describe him.
Not in his finance, but in his, just talking. Like he's just, we're just just
shooting the stuff.
Yeah. I'm when I sit down in the office and we're going over taxes, he's just typing away and putting all this stuff in, but he's really, he can do 2 things at once. He's talking the whole time, telling stories about his kids and stuff. And then all of a sudden on stage, he was his arms are folded and his legs are crossed, and he was staring at 500 people.
Yeah.
But I got really nervous in front of the audience too. So,
really?
Dude, you realize my presentation was supposed to be 15 minutes and I did it in 3.
Yeah, it's true. You did rush through it.
Because I read that nobody told me the timer was counting down, not up.
Okay.
So I thought I had 3 minutes left, not that I was 3 minutes in.
Ah.
So I blew through the presentation.
Okay, I was wondering why you went so fast. You were presenting the whole MSA index thing that we were working on.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how to detect a market change and stuff like that.
Yeah, the what to look for in the shift in the economy.
I think 5 people out of that group got it.
No one got. There's no way.
The other 495 people, it just went completely over their heads. I was one of those 5.
It was one big chart, and I only had one chart, and because I was so anxious in front of 5, I've never been in front of 500 people. We're 150. So for those of you who come to the club, there's 150 people, 150 people in the room typically, and that's become like the normal size audience for us. In the beginning, remember, like it was like when it was like 20, it was pretty like it wasn't really organized because it was brand new. When we hit that room of 60 at that 5th meeting, I was like, oh, we're in front of an audience now.
Yeah.
It got kind of nerve-wracking. And now, like, in front of 150, I don't even think about it. But in front of 500 people, and these people are actually experts, I was like, oh, man, this is like overwhelming.
It's always a little different talking in front of like a group of people that we would consider to be experts on a subject.
Yeah, we personally know them as being like peers or better.
Yeah,
right?
those are the people. Like, there were definitely people in that audience who are people I have called in the past.
Yes.
Asking for, asking something,
Let me claim something to all you people who give me advice. Like that was really difficult to do.
Yeah. Hey, nobody seemed to complain about it.
Which brings up the point of we make stuff up every day.
Right.
Right? So
that's what the whole world is. We said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole world is made up.
Yeah. And investing, the way we invest, I think every company, we've just made it up.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the new one, right, with Back Porch Homes, the new tiny home company, we literally just made it up.
Yeah. And kept talking about it.
Yeah.
For like 2 years.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was talking to Laura last night, one of our sponsors of the club, friend of ours, and she looks at me. She goes, how did this come to be? Because this has Stephen McKee written all over it. And I go, well, I said the tiny home thing is all me, and the finance side is all Todd. She goes, that makes complete sense. And I was like, so Todd made up the financing, I made up the design of the home. I'm like, that's how we married to this company.
Yeah.
And then I laughed. And she, like, as I'm talking to her, I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, we did just make the whole thing up.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like people fathom ideas into being, right? Who is it? Somebody. Some speaker that said like it's amazing to think that everything we see was just somebody's idea.
It was a hallucination.
It was a hallucination. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's the way they described it.
Yeah, it was a hallucination.
I can't remember who said it either.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is. I mean, some guy way back in way long time ago decided he could hold up a torch by his hand in a cave and it would leave a soot imprint on the cave of his hand.
So crazy.
Some guy decided that was a thing he should do. And it happened.
Yeah.
And now it's there still, like in these caves of France. You can go see these charcoal handprints, like in caves. It's like that happened. Some human decided to do that.
And it's still today just to a far more advanced, degree. But then real estate investing has this structure, these hard structures that people used to, right? You buy a home out of the MLS and you get a loan and it looks a certain way and escrow goes a certain way and then you get the people who get really comfortable with it and they just laugh at that entire process.
Yeah.
And people look at you really sideways when you tell them you can do anything you want.
It was, first time I ever opened escrow, it's like, it's this thing, like, how do you even open escrow? What is that? How do you open escrow? That was so confusing to me. I had no clue. And then
you just call somebody.
Yeah. That's really how
service.
That's how it works. You don't have to do what escrow does. Like they're there for a reason. They're there to, basically get all the lien holders on a property, all the people that have some kind of beneficial interest in the property together and make sure that they all, are comfortable with the transaction as it as it is. The terms of the deal. Like, you're going to get your payoff. You're going to get, your thing, whatever you're looking for.
You agree. Great.
Yep. And then it closes, and that's sort of like closing just means that everybody has agreed and everybody's gotten whatever requirements they need to sign off on this thing. Like,
I don't think people realize that an escrow officer is just someone who holds the money during the bet.
Yeah,
right?
Well, yeah, they hold the money and then they hold all the paperwork.
Like I bet you this house versus your money that will close, and at the end we'll trade.
Yeah, and I'll just take my little piece off the top.
Yeah,
for being the person in the middle.
Yeah, then they took a rake. It should be illegal. They took a rake.
Yeah, there's a gambling thing in there somewhere.
That's what I was thinking. Like they basically took a rake.
Escrow, escrow's just they're the house in a poker match.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good way to describe them.
Yeah, they're the ones dealing the cards and the ones dealing the money.
Yeah, because you give everything to them and they distribute it.
And they take a rake. If only. It'd be kind of nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, maybe one day San Bernardino and Riverside County will distribute poker or card room
I think that's the reason that Norco project never panned out.
Yeah, I don't think they gave one out. San Diego did.
Yeah, so there was Todd and I came across a card room that was supposed to be off-site betting location.
Oh, that's right, for sports betting and horse races and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're still having Norco. They already had one in San Diego, and it looks like the project failed. We don't know much about it. We're considering buying something like that. And looks like they're trying to prop one up with the other.
Yeah.
But really interesting to see that we're really unfriendly to those type of businesses out here. But there's
don't know
weed
what-
everywhere. But
Yeah.
Offsite betting, God no.
Yeah, you can't bet. No way. Well, it's possible. You know, we do have some fairly large, Indian casino presence in this area, so
touche.
it's possible they might have some, some say and
Some qualms with it. Some
some
political
qualms
clout.
with it. It's possible. Not going to
I
say
didn't
anything
say
bad
that.
about them.
No,
But
ever.
hey, if they need an investor,
Hey, we
I'm
all
interested.
have political interests. if they need an investor, I'd like to write a check for that
Exactly.
perpetual cash machine.
I'd definitely like to be a part of your family. Let me know. Things just kind of get hallucinated into being, right? So we thought up this idea to do this investment club.
Yeah.
And what we thought of it then is very different than what it became, because back then it was
Yeah.
just sort of, we'd been to other investment clubs, places in, Orange County, LA County, San Diego County, even some, like an old club that used to be out in Corona.
Yeah.
We've been to all these different clubs, and we just sort of took the best of all those worlds and brought them to our little space in downtown Riverside.
And then added alcohol and casual environment.
Exactly, and took out some of the annoying aspects of the other meetings.
Yes.
But
so those of you who've been to another investment club and you haven't been to ours, it is not the same environment. We Todd and I are in flip flops on a regular basis, hence the flip flop investors. We regularly have a bar in our meeting because that's how you should start a networking event. Some social lubrication to get people talking.
Exactly, because they don't otherwise.
No, it's surprising what a difference it makes.
It makes a huge difference. And we just recently, within the last 3 months, we do like a pre-meeting now from 5 to 6 where people come and there's an open bar from 5 to 6 for all the members, the people that are paying on a recurring basis, as a member of the club. And they, it's definitely a much different thing. The last 3 months has been a very different.
It's way more lively.
It is. So like once all the people that start showing up at 6 o'clock, because from 6 to 7 is just open networking for everybody. From 5 to 6 is for members only. So when from that 6 to 7 time, like it's a lot more lively, a lot more active.
I feel like the really seasoned people become less of curmudgeons when they get a drink or two in them.
Well, plus like everybody tends to
They bunch up.
They bunch up, and so everybody talks to the people they already know. So hopefully within that first hour, they get that out of their system. So then from 6 to 7, they can talk to the new folks.
I noticed myself doing that even.
Me too. Yeah. It's because some people we only see them once a month. So it's kind of like, hey man, how you been? And
how's this project going? How's what's this new back porch homes thing you're working on?
Exactly.
That was a lot of last night, right? Was
exactly.
Like, how's the fundraiser going? Like how's the project coming along? The space you're going to rent? And like we get a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were kind of like probing into the structure, and then after that first hour, the people who really knew us and some of our investors, then the second hour was like all the new people, and then we could really help new people along.
Yeah, and I noticed in months past, like 6 months ago, for example, the new people would come in, they'd go grab some food, then they'd go sit down.
Yes.
And kind of just stare at the front of the room, and I always feel bad for those people that are sitting down because they're really missing out on
the whole point of the meeting.
The whole point of the meeting is to meet people.
Yeah.
Like all the presentations and all the little things we do up on stage, it's really not the point of the meeting.
No.
It's just something to kind of fill the gap.
No, it's like when you have a band at a bar.
Right.
Like nobody really came to see the band. Like,
exactly.
Sometimes some people do, but most people came for the drinks, and there's just some noise in the background while you meet people.
Right. Yeah, you're there for the band if you can't have a conversation while the band is playing.
Exactly.
But if it's like a piano player in the corner, the idea is not that they're there to steal the show. They're just ambience.
They're ambience, yeah. We're ambience.
We're ambience. Even though it's a stage thing that we have set up, it's just background noise. Like you're supposed to be there meeting people and networking. Yeah. And that's
that's
the
point. It looked like that was
the
case last night because like when we took an extra long intermission, right? Like a lot of people went outside to continue network because we had some decent deals on the table. A lot from the haves and wants. People were presenting stuff that other people actually wanted.
Yeah, we had a good haves and wants segment last night. So anyway, I guess for those of you that want to become an investor or want to meet a bunch of investors, or if you feel you can benefit in some way by working with investors, you should come out to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
After listening to our 20-minute commercial, it's so awesome.
Is that all it was?
I think we haven't talked about it yet, so now we got to sit down and actually talk about like what happened last night.
Yeah. So it's probably our moment to talk about it.
We didn't reflect on it yet, so that's what you all just got to witness.
So you're welcome, or I'm sorry. Either way.
Yeah.
There you go.
But the Christmas party.
So the Christmas party is coming up.
Yeah.
December 15th. It's going to be bigger than last year. More exciting. And
band.
Yeah, we got a band.
Actually, I think so. I disclaimed it last night. We should disclaim that the band is the second half of the event.
Right.
So if you're the person who doesn't want to see a band, from 6 till 9 is typical normal networking, drinks, no formal presentation except for the awards show for the Flippy Award for the best flip of the year. And the second half
and
is
a brief moment to introduce the sponsors. Cause
there's
people sponsoring.
Yeah. And then the second half is the 80s cover band.
Yeah.
Because every party should have a 80s cover band.
Absolutely. An open bar all night and and a driver service for people that have a little bit too much eggnog. And
are we gonna have eggnog this year?
I don't know. It's figure of speech.
Okay, I just I was curious.
I think it's a figure.
I actually
of speech.
really like eggnog. That's why I was.
Me too. I was actually thinking the other day I should make some.
Yeah, I don't have without the. I like it just without the alcohol.
Plain. Yeah. Like I didn't even know you put alcohol in eggnog until like 8 years ago. And even then, I still haven't tried it.
I haven't either.
I've only had it plain. You know, I'm not even exactly sure which alcohol you're supposed to put in it. Maybe it's brandy or.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
This is happening tonight.
This year, I'm gonna have my first eggnog the proper way. You know, if I can, I'll get it in a cousin Eddie moose shape.
the moose mug.
Yeah, that'll be
from Wally World. The Wally World.
Yeah, it was the Wally World mug.
World
Exactly.
Mug. Those of you who haven't seen Christmas Vacation, you're missing out.
Yeah, you are. Definitely check out Christmas Vacation this holiday season. Yeah, so come out to the club. Meetup.com is where you find out all the information you need about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. And, come meet us. I think we're fun and very intelligent folks. Can help out with your real estate
I don't
investment.
put myself in the intelligent category. Creative, yes. Intelligent, borderline.
Yeah, whatever. We're still learning. We're students, you know.
Always
a student. But, what else been going on?
So Charlie, so we have an office downtown, and we rent desks to other real estate investors. And Charlie, one of the guys that rents a desk.
Yeah, Charlie from Homeowners Resource Group.
That guy.
He was here.
Yes.
As a guest about a month ago or so.
Okay. So Charlie asked me about this deal. He's, where the market's, it hasn't changed yet, but it's going to, right? And we're already starting to see weird signs that it's coming. So Charlie actually has a deal, and this is the first one I've seen.
Okay.
In this cycle, I should say. I saw a lot of these before, where the homeowner is walking away because she has no equity.
Really?
Yeah, surprising. It's one of the remaining HARP loans.
Okay.
So this is a.
You'll have to explain HARP a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to get into it. Like this is a. If you bought a property, and by the way, she didn't buy it during the last cycle.
Really?
This is a property that got bought in 2011.
Interesting.
And then got a government intervention loan, a second loan to help bail you out of being behind in payments, right? So she got this HARP loan or HAMP loan. HARP loan's a different one. HAMP loan.
Yeah.
Home. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember the acronym.
I don't remember the acronym. It's been a while now. This started in 2008. It was a program that would help bring your payments current, and then as long as your first lender did some kind of restructure to make your payment more affordable over time. So this lady owes $410, like $410, and it's worth like $430. So there's no, and it's not in bad shape, but it needs some cleaning out, right? Over in La Sierra. And so he's asking me how to put together a subject to, because she said, take it, I just want $3,000, you can have the house.
Wow.
And I thought, well, that's really interesting. So Charlie's asking me to help him with the structure. So I'm going to kind of go through and show him how to do the a subject to, meaning taking the property subject to the existing loan, using a trust to do it, and then either selling the contract, deeding to somebody else for a fee, or selling an option, or series of these other ways you can buy properties like this. And we're starting to see those. What'd you get?
I was trying to remember the acronym for HAMP. It's
what is it?
The Home Affordable Modification Program.
Okay. Wow, it's been a while since I've heard that. It's been 10 years since I heard that term.
Yeah, it was launched in 2009.
Okay, yeah. Like it's been a while.
It was part of the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Making Home Affordable program. Oh, man, all these things are bringing back all kinds of fun memories.
Yeah. Well, like cheap property.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was weird to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And I remember Jim Keller, who's been on this show on several occasions, he had brought Todd and I this idea, I think, 2 years ago. He was looking for these secondary deeds of trust that the HAMP program wrote because they were going to mature. They were 5-year they were 5-year fixed terms, and then they modified after 5 years. So it's basically like an adjustable rate loan.
Yeah.
So you saw ones that started in like 2011, moving on, into 2016. Those programs would start. The payments would start to go up. The interest rate would go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5%, meaning the payment would go up. Well, the occupants, were paying less than rent, so they'll stay.
Right.
Right. But now, you have the bank in a position where they have equity, right? From 11 to 16, they gained a lot of equity.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, at least the property's worth as much or more than the loan amount, the original principal, and maybe some return. And people start making the decision like, look, I've hung on this thing for a long time because it was cheap to do so, and now I don't care about it anymore.
Right.
We came up with the search. We put in Property Radar, which is a service we use. Actually, we don't really use it, but a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fantastic service that we use to search for properties with specific criteria. So in this case, it's this name acronym, and I forget how it's written, but it's like HUD something.
Yeah.
And you could find all these properties that we're going to modify. So I think Charlie found one in an accident. Actually, I think it was through Find Sellers. It was
really?
a Find Sellers lead.
Very nice. FindSellers.com. That's a great way to find leads.
It was a fantastic way.
Yeah.
So
it's wonderful.
It was a Find Sellers lead that went out, or a postcard that went out, and somebody called. And I'm really curious as to how this is going to go, because I think we're going to see a lot more of this, especially over the next 2, 3, 4 years. And if you're an investor and you're not prepared for it, if you're saying the deals are too thin, it's because you're doing the wrong type of deals right now, because they're moving, I think, this way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always some kind of creative, weird thing that happened that's going to create opportunity for investors down the road.
Then we got to make up the formula.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. It's made up, everything,
So in this case, I think if you're slightly experienced, you'll understand this. You'll typically purchase these homes around 90% of what they're worth. By purchasing, meaning taking subject to the existing financing, and you'll sell them at about 110%. And for those of you thinking, who the hell is going to buy this at 110%? Understand that somebody who's an entrepreneur who's written off everything and they can't qualify for a home loan, somebody who has dual, partial, limited citizenship in some way. They have a green card, they have a right to work here, but they can't get a home loan. Those people will be willing to take over these properties for a premium.
Yeah, buy it from you.
Yeah,
subject to the current mortgage, and basically pay you option.
All kinds.
There's a lot of ways to structure it.
They could pay you a fee. They could buy it from you as with a fee on the deed. They could do an option. They could do an option with a lease.
Yeah.
The one I came up with is the lease with a diminishing option, where the option fades over time like a fully amortized loan.
Yeah, like they're paying it off over time.
Yeah, there's a bunch of variations of this, but I think we're going to see a significant number of these homes, and a lot of money that can be made in them, but very few people know how to do them.
Are you going to be talking about this in your master class?
Oh, that's a good segue, Todd.
Well, I figured that's what you were doing.
I didn't realize it until we started talking about it, because Charlie literally hit me up 2 hours before.
Yeah.
He was brought me in his office and asked me how to go through this. But I am going to do basically no money down strategies in my master class. So I only have, I think, 9 seats left. It's a small class, I think, of 12. If you have a desire to be in this real estate market for the next 5 years, because it's going to become an increasingly more difficult one.
Mm-hmm.
In January, I'm going to do a masterclass on no money down real estate strategies for any market. People say, "Oh, no money down," or what do you mean any market? It's these no money down strategies have existed for. These aren't new, and tons of people have written about them. I'm just going to give people cookie cutters. And
it's basically Jack Miller stuff, right?
It's all, yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff is old Jack Miller stuff. And my class is $350, and all the Jack Miller stuff costs you somewhere between $350 to $1,000 buying the tapes and CDs and whatever. And you just don't get all the paperwork to go with it.
Right.
The modern paperwork, because Jack Miller stuff's really old.
Yeah, exactly.
So
all of his contracts are written way before all the new regulations came out. Yeah.
So I'm modifying for new and I have a license. So because I have a real estate license, I'm putting the caveats in for people that have a license. If you are interested in being in this market, like I said, it's going to be tough, right? Over the next 5 years, it may not be tough for 2 years until 2 years from now, 3-4 years from now, but there'll be a long period where you'll need to know this. You can go to personallysovereign.com. So my email address is personallysovereign. My email address, my website is personallysovereign. That'll take you to the Eventbrite page, and you can pay for the class there, register ahead of time. I think this thing will sell out pretty quick though. That's why I limited the spaces. It was harder to talk to a larger room, so sticking to. I think I'm 12 or 15. I don't remember. I think it was 12. It's just easier to be one-on-one with that small of a class all day.
Yeah, it's because I know like you've tried to do this talk or something similar to this in the past, and it's like you get a million questions from the audience, and if you have a big group, 100 people or something, you're never going to get past like the first step.
I got stuck. So I did it at the Millionaire Makers event, not this last summer, but the summer before, and I think I got 2/3 of the way through, and I couldn't even finish the presentation.
Yeah.
So there were 100 people in the room. I just couldn't too many questions.
Hey, I mean, it's a good thing, but it just means, I guess, that it's easier to do with a smaller class. But you've also tightened up the thing since then. So
it's really even if you give them the paperwork, the contracts, there's still going to be 10,000 what ifs. So what a lot of the students in the class want to know is like, have you thought of this? What they're looking for is like reassurance. Yeah. Because like we say, like we make it all up. A lot of people don't believe it's possible.
Sure.
So they're like, well, what about this legal problem? What about this legal problem? You're like, all those are taken care of, and here's how they're taken care of.
Right.
But you have to explain all 99 of them.
Well, and plus, a lot of people have different levels of experience when you go to one of these events. Some people are brand new, and literally don't know much about real estate other than it exists, And then you have some people who've been in the industry for 10, 15 years and have a fairly good handle on it, maybe from like the lending side or the sales side or maybe even from the investment side. But
I think some of those guys have bad hang-ups too.
Hang-ups, bad habits, all kinds of stuff that can.
Well, the lending world says this. I know the lending world says this, but that's not the law. The law is this.
Right. Yeah. And I used to get that a lot, because you have, traditional conventional lenders that, they have very specific way of doing things, and it's very regulated, very heavily regulated. But then when we do a hard money loan, it's on the commercial side of things. It's not a, owner occupied residential typical conventional type of loan. So we don't have regulation like we do on the residential side. It's all commercial side where it's very, free for all almost.
It's funny. I was like listening to Ryan, for the, those who know Ryan Raven, he's the, what's his title?
He's the chief lending officer of Rehab Loan Group. Yeah.
I don't know what his actual title was.
CLO. That's a big deal.
So Ryan's,
we have friends in high places around here.
he was a conventional lending specialist for a long time.
Right, yeah, he was doing traditional mortgages for a while.
20-something years.
Exactly.
And I heard him on the phone today. I hear him like down the hall, and he's explaining to somebody like, no, I did those type of loans for 20-something years. It's actually, he's like going through that process, right, of explaining to them why this hard money's different and how it works.
I think I can almost pinpoint what the question was that he got asked that set him off to say something like that.
Very likely.
Yeah, it's very different, and so. But you get these people with these preconceived notions and, like people that don't understand it to the same degree that maybe you do. And they're just trying to get clarification. But it kind of brings up a good point. Is there like a prerequisite you would recommend people have a base level knowledge before they attend your class?
No, this one actually, I'm going to start from zero.
So you can come into this thing completely green.
Yeah.
You barely even know that real estate's a thing.
Yeah, here's the problem. If you're smart enough to be dumb, then you can follow the directions.
That's a complicated statement. You have to clarify that. I mean, I get it.
Like if you understand that you don't understand, right? If I know that I don't fully understand all the pieces, but the person I'm taking the class from fully understands all the pieces, and all I have to do is follow their cookie cutter.
Yeah,
right?
You're going to say do this, then do this, then do this.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
And then you make money.
And later on you can figure out why you did those things. Yeah.
So when I took
nice. It's like a recipe.
It is.
You're not inventing a new recipe. You're just following a recipe that's there.
Yeah.
Step one, cut the, whatever.
Yeah. Open the package.
Is that, yeah. Put the Pop-Tart in the toaster.
In the toaster. Do not push the bagel setting.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you like them well done.
Like when I went to, I didn't really understand. So, because I barely started teaching, right? I really like it, but there's a part of it where you really just want everybody to get it, right? You're like, please understand.
Yeah.
And you've put out every one of these classes takes, I don't know, I mean, probably 50, 100. I mean, I don't know. We have thousands of hours of work into all of our formulas. So I don't even know. An innumerable amount of hours go into these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is entirely new content. So like it's like a comedian doing their hour for the year.
Yeah, a new routine. But nothing from the previous.
But this is 8 hours.
Yeah.
And when I took Ward Hannigan's trust class, so Ward Hannigan is an investor out of San Diego. He does one-on-one teaching. It's not cheap, but it's exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me all this stuff sitting across his desk. He went through this process, and you could tell he had decided, like, this is the proper routine for this. You go this, then this, then this. And if I just shut up and listen to him, right? If I wasn't too smart,
yeah,
right?
Don't argue with him,
Yeah.
But wait, I thought a partnership is
totally,
yeah.
And so, like, I go home with this giant folder. And matter of fact, I remember my birthday's coming up, so I have to call them. When every year on your birthday, you call their office and they send you all the updated forms to the new legal for the classes you took.
Okay.
So they update your Dropbox. And I went home and I tried and I had no idea to like follow his directions, and I felt like I screwed it up really bad. And so I was trying to call his office, and it kind of reminded me when I was brand new,
mm-hmm.
right? We were like, I'm just going to call the expert. I paid the expert. The expert would tell me. And, Eric, his son, made some changes for me on some of the partnership forms that you and I use because they were in PDF form.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to put together this trust, and it just didn't even work. It totally didn't work. I ended up using my old LLC and having to pay way too much in taxes because I had this shelved LLC I needed to close this transaction in. And I wanted to do a trust instead. And now, progressively over time, right, I've actually read these forms thoroughly, took time to really understand them,
mm-hmm.
and then everything he's telling me starts echoing in my head because I took the time to study. And then now, like, I feel like this is second nature. Oh, I just do a trust like this, and this is what I add on. These are the steps, and I did it a couple times, and people tend to tell you where you screw up,
right?
So I just did it, and I followed this process. And once I did it, people corrected me, and then I went back, and I was like, well, how would I modify that? Maybe that's something he didn't think of, but in this case, I needed to look like this. Now a year and a half later, I feel like pretty seasoned in creating LLCs and trusts and whatever. So this class, I kind of hope to do the same thing. I hope to have like, here's your form. Here's how you do an option. Here's how you add a lease to that option.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you sell either the lease or the option or the combination of both. Here's how you do a subject to. Here's how you sell your subject to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how to protect everybody in the transaction. And I'm going to make it fill in the blank. If anybody's seen in my contracts, they say like your name here.
Right.
And like, so you can literally follow it that easy and realize that all you have to do is deliver this to an escrow company and they'll take care of everything for you.
Right.
So it'll be that dumbed down.
That's good because as long as you follow the recipe,
mm-hmm.
and then somebody can call you and say, hey, I have a deal in stage 3.
Yeah. Great. Where are you stuck? I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You should know. Okay, cool. So that means you did stage 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Those are done.
Yeah.
Now we're on stage 3. Where are you at on stage 3? And we can go from there.
Yeah. What's your obstacle?
And what you could do is you could build in a purchasing model at each one of those stages and say, if you're at a stage 1, you can sell it for this.
Mm-hmm.
Stage 2, you sell it for this.
Like you can have forms that autofill, or auto calculate the entire process too.
Yeah.
So here's this big calculator in a spreadsheet. Just put these numbers in and you get everything.
Yeah. I mean, how much more simple could it get?
No.
Well, this is going to be the magic formula then. You're just teaching people how to work the magic formula.
I feel actually, so, remember I did that every lead is a deal spreadsheet. Uh-huh. So I had this sheet where you just put in a couple numbers and the whole thing fills in for every way you could buy the property. I since screwed that thing up over and over and over again. But I was close. There's some stuff I needed Todd's help with because he's far superior on Excel than I am. I can do the addition, subtraction, division. I've learned to do some ifs and stuff like that. But if I get stuck, I just go, Todd, fix this. I can't figure this part out.
It's an iterative calculation.
Yeah, I don't.
Circular
to avoid a
referencing.
circle reference, yes. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that is.
Those are the hard things with Excel.
Yeah, the circle reference is always everybody gets stuck on that.
Yeah.
So, hold on.
You were going somewhere with that.
I was going somewhere with that.
We were talking about the magic formula that, or
So one of the mistakes that I feel like we made, I don't know mistakes because we amassed an incredible amount of experience. One of the things we did too late is we didn't focus on cash flow.
right
Now our new company, Back Porch Homes, is, it's essentially, we're building tiny homes, but we're also financing them. So we're generating notes.
Right.
And those will provide cash flow for the duration of the note, and they're going to be 30-year notes. And then you can package those in all kinds of ways to make money long term.
Right.
So we didn't really focus on that at all. Like, you had some rentals.
Sure, but I got rid of them because I hated them.
Yeah, it's a pain. And we didn't focus on generating cash flow that doesn't require a lot of hands-on.
Yeah.
So these subject twos, options, a lot of these other no money down strategies are amazing cash flow generators.
Right.
And after all the time flipping the club and teaching flipping, and flipping's the gateway drug, right?
Right.
I'm like, okay.
That's what, or wholesaling is what gets a lot of people in.
I want to wholesale so I can flip, so I can buy rentals. That's what they all say.
Yeah.
And you're doing it all wrong, but it sounds like that's the most logical way to get there. That's what we thought too.
Yeah. It's funny how many people, literally, that's what they come to us.
I just heard it last night.
I heard it a couple times from different people. They say, well, I want to get into wholesaling because I want to make a few bucks so I can buy a flip. And then once I do a few flips, I can have enough to buy a rental. I'm like,
or just skip all that, find a partner, buy a rental.
Yeah, exactly. There's a we were talking about on the way over here that rentals, you make your money on the purchase.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy it right, if it cash flows, it just makes sense. There's money out there for a good deal.
Always.
If you have a good deal that pencils and it's a good rental,
always,
there's money for it out there. You just need to package it up right, and
the packaging is an important part too.
It is, because you can't look like a complete idiot.
No, when you send your email out, or your spreadsheet or whatever, you need to look like you have some idea what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think people pay for these types of courses, is because you get that from it. So you have a nice form. I've seen somebody from I can't remember the name of it exactly. It's one of those ones from one of the big, national touring teaching groups. But they have a nice sheet. So
we've seen that one over and over again.
Yeah, it's there are a few good tools you get from these things. Are they worth $60,000? I don't know, probably not. But but you get this nice sheet, and when you present it to somebody, it makes you look like you've done all your homework. Your due diligence has been performed, so you don't look. It's maybe instead of me just saying no, it's going to be like, oh, let me look at this for a minute. Then it's a no.
It's really interesting. I was talking to I talked to a couple people, but who was I? I was talking to somebody at the meeting, and we were talking about what they were doing with the free information we gave them, right? With all the old CRG.email stuff that we're using a joint venture with. And they were talking about how they would go talk to other agents, and they were like, oh, you have everything you need. They looked all smart. They were brand new. It was day one. Yeah. But because they had this spreadsheet and this proof of funds and the way the contract was supposed to be written or whatever, they had essentially got these tools that made them look like geniuses.
Yeah, make them look a little more serious and
yeah, methodical.
Helps.
Instead of saying, I just want to buy a home.
Right. I'm an investor.
Yeah, it was funny talking about that. I was like, really? People really look at it like that? No, I do, because we built the forums.
Exactly.
But and we built them based on the feedback we've got over the years and stuff we've seen.
Of course.
But I guess you don't realize that they can be power enough to take a complete newbie and make them look experienced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And so, go check out your master class, right?
Oh yeah, that too. But I just meant a lot of the free stuff in the club helps too. If you come to the club, you get a lot of free stuff otherwise.
Yeah, we still have that thing up though, right? We got to rebrand it or do something. We
still have CRG to email, but we were going to take it down and add it for members only.
Yeah, we were. Or do something.
Well, okay. Look, if you want to getting started package, you can still go to crg.email, www.crg.email, and register, and you'll get a bunch of free information. Eventually, we're going to take that down and hide it behind their member wall. You have to be a member of the club to get it. I mean, the club is only $19 a month. It's not like it's expensive.
Yeah.
But and it just helps us keep the lights on, because Todd and I are still writing about $2,000 a month worth of checks to keep the lights on that thing.
Yep.
We were writing much more significant ones, approaching the $4,000 mark.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. But it's a great resource. You get if you go to crg.email, you'll get an email from us that says let's get started. And it tells you a bunch of stuff in there. There's some things that no longer apply. It tells you how you can joint venture with us, which we're not doing anymore. So there's certain things in there that.
But it gets you to the finish line.
It gets you to the finish line. It gets you all the resources, and it's free. So we don't market to you about anything else that's not relevant. So,
and if you are interested in learning creative strategies, you can still go to my website at personallysovereign.com and register there and take the class in January. I'll have a whole nother set of those forums that won't be on the member site. They'll be part of my class. I think I'm going to do one a quarter.
One a quarter.
So I think my goal now, because I want to grow that like teaching side. I think my goal now is I'm going to do one on like basics of getting started flipping, one on creative strategies, and then I have to come up with 2 other ones. I think one I'm going to focus on real heavy deal finding and marketing.
Okay.
And then I don't know, or you could do one on lending.
Yeah,
but like
lending would be fun.
You know what I mean? Like
I did one lending presentation that was like.
It went really well, and people really liked that.
It was, and that was the first meeting we ever had where we had to ban somebody from never coming back to the club.
Oh, it was. Oh, I forgot.
That was a memorable night. That guy made a complete fool of himself.
Oh man, I felt. You know what? So for those of you who, if you're trying to raise money, and you get told by somebody like, "Hey, I can help you raise money,"
yeah,
you better be really comfortable with who that person is.
Yes,
because this guy was raising money for somebody we know is a very successful investor who we think does a really good job. They do 200 to 250 deals a year. I mean, this is a very seasoned investor, and his point man out raising money did a terrible job embarrassing himself. Started making fun of people's religion, and I don't think he got into race, but he got he got drunk enough to personally attack other members of the club.
Right,
and we had to call.
His boss,
basically. To be like, hey, so this is what happened. We banned your buddy. You could come anytime you want because you're awesome, but don't send that guy back.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't. He never came back. Never heard from that guy again. I don't think he's a part of that company anymore either.
No, he was a little out there.
So in addition to your class, you're also going to be the guest of honor at the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club in January.
Oh, in January. I forgot. Thomas just set that up.
Are you doing a presentation there? What are you going to do? So
you're February, right?
I'm February.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Honestly, so Thomas asked me to speak. A lot of the stuff if I think about the stage that club is in, right? Because we helped Thomas set the thing up. It has roughly 30 to 40 people coming to the club.
Right.
And
but January's going to be big.
It's probably
going to be as
50
big
to 60 people in the room.
Yeah.
Right. And January is New Year, so it's a good time to do getting started stuff.
True.
So I think I'm going to do my 1 hour on life management.
Okay.
So I have
setting up a budget and doing all that stuff.
Yeah. At the beginning of my presentation or my last class, I start the first hour with sort of getting your life in order. If you think you could be a real estate investor and manage a bunch of money without managing your own personal self, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
So, calendar, how to set up your calendar,
right?
Scheduling your life, creating a household budget, setting goals,
keeping yourself organized.
Yeah. Like creating building a team. Like a list of team members. I think I'll do that because I can give those handouts out, right? And that's the thing I want to set up on the web for free anyway. Was a whole thing of get yourself prepared to learn,
right?
And I might I think I'm going to send that out as a pre-email to all the people attending the January class. Be like, hey, look, before you show up, do this.
Print this out and bring it.
They don't necessarily need it. I just would like to know you did it.
Okay.
Do it so the class is more useful.
Okay.
So for example, the one thing people don't consider is how much time they actually have available.
Yeah.
Right? You maybe not know that you're completely overwhelmed.
Sure.
It's weird that people don't know that, but they have no idea.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you have, there's gaps throughout your day, where you could be doing something productive, but instead you're, goofing around on Facebook or doing something like that. That's just taking away all your time for personal development.
Matter of fact, I'd like to, not everybody has an iPhone, but with this new screen time stuff.
Yeah.
I'd really like to start using some of those metrics to show people where they're wasting their time. But there is an app called Rescue Time.
Okay.
If anybody wants to know what they're doing with their time, You can download Rescue Time for your phone, for your computer. It'll measure across all the platforms. It'll tell you exactly where you're spending your time and how long.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
remember we wanted to set this up for Billy when we kept telling me he was just playing games in the office?
Yeah.
We were like, well, put Rescue Time on the computer then. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Let's check your real productivity.
Yeah.
Hey, but, it's like, I remember like an old partner of mine, like he clocked in, like literally like he's the boss of his company, big manufacturing company.
Yeah.
And he would clock in, and he would clock out. Like he actually tracked his hours because he wanted to actually know like what is my actual hourly pay, and like he wanted to hold himself accountable to his company. And, it's an interesting concept that,
well, what gets measured gets managed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Drucker's line. Like, and he's not wrong. You need to measure what you're doing.
Right.
And so you need like, when we're talking about the gaps in schedule, right? If you may find out that your only gap is 10 till 1 every day because that's when the kids are in school, right? And that's when you need to work. And if you're doodling around the house because you didn't feel like doing anything that day, you wasted your only time, like, cruising the internet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of time wasted, cruising the internet, watching TV, messing with Facebook.
I spent 3 very depressed years doing all those things. Like just sitting I'd built, so it looked like I looked official, right? I had a desk in the Zaharias house.
It's a nice desk.
I had a desk. Right? I had like my computer set up, all that stuff.
Many leather-bound books.
It smelled of rich mahogany.
It did.
And I think I made it to 1 o'clock every day without doing anything. And then I worked after 1 o'clock.
Yeah. It's funny how like in the real estate world, like most things don't happen until at least 10 o'clock.
That's when we get our calls.
And then 3 o'clock is when there's like the crunch for time during the day. Like, oh, people are leaving at 5. I should probably do something before the day is over. Todd
and I used to get really annoyed with borrowers from Rehab Loan Group. Because they would all call at like 3:30,
right?
And they would demand something in the next hour, and we're like, we're working on all this stuff from 10 a.m.
Yeah, from all the people that were prepared this morning and sent us their draw requests. I'm not going to do your thing right now.
Yeah, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Yeah, like, it's not going to happen today, and so we had to set a 3 p.m. deadline.
Yep.
For that reason.
Yeah, if it's received after 3 p.m., it's considered received tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or the next business day.
And because people they just wouldn't get around to it.
It's happening. That's what happens. I don't know what I'm going to do yet in February because I'm going to be the guest of honor at the Black Island Empire Real Estate Investment Club in February.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking this morning that I might do something on systematizing your business.
Okay.
Because if you're going to do like getting
It'll
started
tie perfectly.
Then it's kind of a nice segue to the next thing, which is like, okay, now setting yourself up a little bit more beyond that to systematize.
If Aaron does marketing the next month, that would actually work out perfectly.
Actually, that would be real good. It'll almost be kind of like the start of our 2018 series.
Totally. We should like get with Aaron, like Norris, and like kind of go over it and be like, all right, here's what we're all going to do.
Yeah, because he's going to do March.
Yeah, because systems are what we do really well.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I'm a systems person. I like systems because I didn't read the 4-Hour Work Week, but I read the cover of it. It said the 4-Hour Work Week on it, and I guess I kind of thought to myself, I'm a creative person. How could I work less but accomplish more?
Yeah.
So for me, that's systematizing. That's having a computer do as much as possible before I have to have any intervention.
Or another person.
Yeah, or another person. Exactly. It's the old employment model, right? I mean, you hire an employee because I don't like doing this thing, so I'm going to hire somebody to do that thing.
Especially the things that you just don't like doing, so you don't do them.
Yeah, or the things you just don't know how to do or don't like doing, whatever. That's you hire somebody that likes doing that and knows how to do that, and then that's systematizing in a way. But I was thinking I might go that route, do some systemization, and
I like that.
Ways to make your thing more efficient because. Like for me, I've never once dealt directly with a seller of a property.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are shocked to hear that, but that's because I never considered myself to be good at it.
Yeah.
I've always thought I was pretty dumb when it comes to real estate. Like I didn't really know that much. So I figured why not just have people that already deal with homeowners and sellers, let them find the deals and just bring them to me. So, I did it out of necessity, but of course, at this point in my career, I feel confident I could talk to a seller and get a deal, but I don't need to.
Especially not now with the way we're changing.
Right? Yeah, and that too.
Maybe a commercial seller, but that's really talking to another real estate investor.
Maybe exactly. Yeah, it's all numbers there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're running a little out of time though, so I think we'll mention the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club one more time.
Okay.
For those folks out there that want to get into real estate investing, want to learn from the best in the business. You should come out to the Inland.
Yeah, those guys come to our meeting.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we're there every time, I swear. Come on out. Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We meet at the Mission Inn once a month. We also have a cash flow game on the first Wednesday of the month at the
Roundtable
Clubhouse in Highland, in East Highland. So we do that once a month, the first Wednesday, hosted by Caesar Roldan. And we also do a coffee meetup this month. We'll be skipping the coffee meetup in December because we're doing the Christmas party on December 15th. So come on out, go to meetup.com, look up all the information about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, and consider becoming a member, and come see Stephen at the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club in January. Check out his masterclass at personallysovereign.com, and come see me, the Black Inland, I don't know, just come check it out. We're glad you all tuned in. We'll see you all next week. Have a good time, everyone. See ya.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now